It is a quiet truth, one that is often drowned out by the clamor of a world obsessed with personal branding and overnight success. You come to me with a restless heart, your eyes scanning the horizon for the flicker of recognition, your mind preoccupied with the mosaic of your reputation. You speak of platforms, of networks, of being seen and being known. And I will tell you, with the gentle firmness of one who has watched many souls walk this path, that you are building your house in the sky before you have laid a single stone upon the earth. The most profound work, the work that truly shapes a life of substance, begins not in the spotlight but in the quiet, unlit workshop of the self. You'd do better if you focused on building instead of your reputation. And that space you occupy now, that feeling of being unknown, of shouting into a void, it's not a curse, it is a gift. A profound and fleeting gift. Let us for a moment consider the psychology of this. The human brain is wired for social validation. It is an ancient survival-based mechanism. To be accepted by the tribe meant safety, resources, and the continuation of one's lineage. This deep-seated need has simply been transposed onto the modern digital savannah. The likes, the follows, the mentions, they are the digital equivalent of nods of approval from the chieftain. When you focus on your reputation, you are essentially feeding a primal hunger. The problem is that this hunger is insatiable. It is a beast that once fed only grows larger, its demands more specific, its disappointments more acute. Every positive review makes a future negative one feel like a catastrophe. Every bit of praise creates a new ledge from which you fear to fall. This external locus of control, this placing of your sense of worth and direction in the hands of an unpredictable and often fickle external world, is a recipe for chronic anxiety. You become a weather vane spinning with every shift in the wind of public opinion, never rooted, never stable. Your creative energy, the very life force that should be channeled into your craft, your relationships, your inner growth, is instead siphoned off into a perpetual and exhausting performance. You are no longer a human being. You are a human managing perceptions, managing your image, managing the gap between who you truly are and who you think the world wants you to be. This dissonance is the birthplace of what we so often call imposter syndrome, that gnawing feeling that you are a fraud, soon to be discovered. Of course you feel that way. You have been curating a museum of your best moments, while living in the messy, unfinished, and gloriously real backrooms of your life. Now, let us turn our gaze to the alternative: building. To build is to shift your locus of control inward. It is to take the chisel and the mallet and to turn your attention to the raw, unhewn marble of your own potential. This work is not performative. It is foundational. It is the slow, patient, often frustrating work of developing skill, of cultivating character, of amassing wisdom through trial and error. It is about the integrity of the joint, the strength of the beam, the quality of the materials you use, not the color of the paint you will one day slap on the outside for others to admire. This is where the gift of anonymity reveals its true splendor. When no one is watching, you have the freedom to be clumsy. You have the sacred permission to fail. And failure, my dear, is not the opposite of success. It is the raw material of it. In the hidden workshop, a failed experiment is data. A broken prototype is a lesson. A terrible first draft is the necessary chaos from which order and beauty can emerge. But when you are building your reputation in public, a failure is a public spectacle. It becomes a stain, a story to be managed, a moment of shame to be explained away. This fear of public failure is a cage that keeps you from taking the very risks that lead to groundbreaking work. Think of the greatest artists, inventors, and thinkers. Their legacy is not the reputation they meticulously managed in their lifetimes. Often they were reviled, ignored, or misunderstood. Their legacy is what they built. Van Gogh sold one painting while he was alive. His reputation was non-existent. But he was building. He was building a body of work that would, long after his tormented soul had left this earth, change the very way humanity sees color and emotion. He was free to experiment with his wild brushstrokes precisely because there was no gallery owner, no critic, no market demanding a certain style from him. His obscurity was his incubator. This principle applies to every facet of life. Are you building a relationship, or are you building a reputation for being a good partner? The former requires vulnerability, difficult conversations, and the slow, patient weaving of two lives into a shared tapestry. The latter is about posting the right pictures, saying the right things in public, and maintaining a facade of harmony. One creates a fortress that can weather any storm. The other is a house of cards that collapses at the first gust of wind. Are you building a life of character or a reputation for being a good person? The building of character happens in the unseen choices, returning the lost wallet when no one is around, speaking with kindness to the person who can do nothing for you, choosing honesty when a lie would be more convenient. A reputation can be manufactured. Character must be forged in the private fires of your own conscience. So what does this building look like in practice? It is a return to the tangible. It is about turning off the notifications and opening the book you need to study. It is about spending an hour in deep, focused practice on your instrument, not to record a clip for social media, but to feel the callus form on your finger and the new neural pathway form in your brain. It is about having the courage to write the terrible first chapter of your novel, embracing its awfulness as a necessary step toward the 10th draft that might sing. It is about starting that small project in your garage, not with a business plan for viral fame, but with the simple joy of solving a problem and creating something that did not exist before. It is about amassing a volume of work so significant, so deeply a part of you, that if every external marker of success was stripped away, you would still be left with something of immense value: your skills, your knowledge, your resilience, your created works. Your reputation is a commentary on that body of work. It is the shadow cast by the substance. To focus on the shadow is to live in a two-dimensional world. To focus on the substance is to inhabit a life of depth, richness, and three-dimensional truth. This gift of being unknown is a season, and like all seasons, it will pass. The day will come when people will know your name. They will have opinions. They will make demands. They will project their hopes and their criticisms onto you. And when that day comes, you will be faced with a choice. You can turn outward again, trying to manage the ever-shifting tides of your reputation, and in doing so, you will abandon the quiet workshop that made you who you are. Or you can take a deep breath, close the door to the noise, and return to the work. You can remember that the opinions of others are merely weather, while the work you do on yourself and your craft is the climate. The weather changes by the hour. The climate is what determines what can grow and flourish over a lifetime. So I implore you, do not rush to leave this precious season of anonymity. Do not weep for a lack of followers or a silent phone. See it for what it is, a sacred and fertile void. It is the blank canvas before the first stroke of paint, the silence before the first note of the symphony, the fresh plot of land before the foundation is dug. This is your time to build. Build with integrity. Build with passion. Build with a relentless focus on the quality of the work itself. Build your skills, your knowledge, your character, your body of work. Build something so solid, so true, and so inherently valuable that if a reputation must come, it will have no choice but to attach itself to the unshakable monolith of what you have created. And you, from the quiet center of your own being, will be able to look upon it with a calm detachment, knowing that the real prize was never the applause, but the strength of your own hands and the depth of your own soul, forged in the beautiful, liberating darkness before anyone knew your name.